Well, this is Alaskan Prospectors. We are the keen dealer for the interior of Alaska. We've been in business since 1973, giving us a longevity of approximately 40 years. And in 1973, we created the relationship with Keene, and we've been their dealer here in Fairbanks, Alaska, since that time. We built the business to the point where we now carry all size of gold dredges from 2 inches to 6 inches, and we carry all their accessory equipment, the equipment necessary to support the dredges, including air compressors, airlines, wetsuits, and any other kind of diving material necessary to pursue an active activity in the gold dredging, mining type profession. Now, you should understand that gold dredges float on the surface of the water of a stream, if you can imagine that, kind of like a boat. And the person who is dredging the material has hold of a dredging hose which extends down to the gravel, where the gravel is vacuumed like a vacuum cleaner from the bottom of the river or the stream up through the hose and is processed across a sluice box. The sluice box has riffles in it which trap the gold and other high specific gravity materials, while at the same time allowing the low specific gravity materials, the boulders, the rocks, the quartz, the other non-valuable materials, to be washed out the tailing end of the sluice blocks, ultimately forming what we call the tailings, or small tailing piles in the case of a suction dredge. After a period of time, depending on the experience of the miner, they will shut the machine down, clean out the riffles, generally emptying the riffles into a sluice, into a bucket, and then he will run those riffles across one of Keene's pieces of concentrating equipment, where the gold will be extracted from the other high specific gravity minerals. The gold is then taken and dried, if you wish, then taken to a smelter or a refinery, where it was sold or first analyzed to evaluate how much gold, how much silver, and how much base metals is in the gold particle. Now, you should understand that may sound confusing to you, but gold is never pure in nature. It's combined normally with a large amount of silver, perhaps some base metals like iron, copper, lead, and these things have to be extracted before the gold can be sold on the open market. So what the job of the smelter is to evaluate that gold to determine how much is gold, how much is silver, and how much is base metals. Once they've done that, then they put a price or a value on that particular batch of placer gold that's come from that dredge belonging to the miner. Generally, the gold in Alaska is running anywhere from 80 to 90% pure, meaning that there is 10 to 20% impurities within the gold that is delivered to the smelter. If, say, a miner came into the smelter with 100 ounces of gold, placer gold, he would then give it to the smelter. The smelter would evaluate it. If it was 80% gold and 20% silver and base metals, the miner would get paid after the assay services on 80% of the gold. When gold is 80%, they say it is 80% fine. It's 90% gold, they call it 90% fine. With that in mind, the miner is pretty well assured of the value of the gold in his creek, and at the end of a season, if he takes out, say, 1,000 ounces of gold, he can almost carefully and perhaps with some level of security determine the value of the gold in that creek, and hence he will know that he's going to get 80% of the market value of that gold when he turns it into the smelter.